Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 572 based on novel. So let's start. As he roared, a storm-like divine sense shrouded the area. It collided with the ripples created by Wang Lin's ancient Dao, no celestial spell. The 9 layers of ripples immediately collapsed and dissipated into specks of golden light. Yang Lu's body was knocked back by this divine sense. She retreated more than 1,000 feet before she stopped. As the powerful divine sense shrouded the area, all the elders of the Great Soul Sect silently pondered. The drastic changes to the world slowly stopped. Between Wang Lin and Yang Lu, the divine sense descended and an old man appeared. This old man was wearing a green robe and had white hair. It was esteemed Green Bull's original body. The moment his body formed, his essence true body arrived and fused with his original body to form a vague shadow behind his original body. A terrifying aura spread out from the old man. Wang Lin felt like this aura exceeded the peak 7-colored celestial sovereign. Late-stage void turbulent. Wang Lin's expression was calm, but his pupils shrank an indiscernible amount. Greetings, ancestor. After the old man's body appeared, the surrounding elders of the Great Soul Sect all bowed. Even Yang Lu, whose expression was gloomy and constantly changing, respectfully bowed. Only Wang Lin stood there and didn't bow. He was calm as he looked at esteemed Green Bull. Yang Lu, Elder Wang is someone I invited. He will now be one of the elders of my Great Soul Sect. As for your Fire Vein Mountain, this old man will make another mountain for you and allow you to enter the Soul Scripture Pavilion for 3 days. Esteemed Green Bull slowly said as he looked at the beautiful, young Yang Lu. Yang Lu silently pondered. She was originally unwilling, but thinking about Wang Lin's terrifying spell, she silently nodded. This matter will be over for now. Everything about Elder Wang is a secret of my Great Soul Sect. Anyone who violates the rules will be punished by the sect's rules. Esteemed Green Bull looked at the surrounding people seriously before his gaze landed on Wang Lin. Elder Wang, welcome to the Great Soul Sect. Esteemed Green Bull smiled. Wang Lin also smiled and politely clasped his hands at esteemed Green Bull. As everyone looked at him, Wang Lin smiled. I have created a ruckus coming here and was a bit reckless. I hope everyone won't take it to heart. Wang Lin had a smile and his words were not arrogant, he seemed very polite. After seeing the amazing spells he had displayed, along with his politeness, the other elders of the Great Soul Sect quickly replied politely as soon as he finished speaking. Elder Wang is too polite. We will all be part of the same sect and will naturally help each other. Ha ha, Elder Wang's cultivation is extraordinary and your spells are amazing. Cultivators like us respect the strong. What is there to be reckless about? No problem, no problem. If Elder Wang has time, come to my relaxed cloud mountain. I have some celestial tea and we can drink tea while debating Dao. Many polite words came from the surrounding people. Wang Lin was patient as he smiled and responded to each person. Then the elders all returned to their respective peaks. Soon, only Yang Lu, Wang Lin, and esteemed Green Bull remained outside the Great Soul Sect. Yang Lu's disciples were standing in the distance. Fan Shanmeng was among them, and she looked at Wang Lin with a complicated gaze. Elder Wang, pick a peak to be your cave. This old man can help you arrange it. Once you're familiar with the Great Soul Sect, you can come and find me. Each elder of the Great Soul Sect has a chance to enter the Soul Scripture Pavilion. There are many spells to choose from inside. In addition, there are 3 gifts that have been prepared for you for a long, long time. Since you are here, this old man will give them to you on behalf of the ancestor. They will be useful to you. Esteemed Green Bull's words revealed how much importance he put on Wang Lin. When Yang Lu heard this, she silently pondered. She let out a cold snort in her heart but didn't speak. Wang Lin nodded slightly and looked at the Great Soul Sect. From this position, he could see that the originally red mountain was now a mess. Wang Lin pondered a bit. There were no deep grudges between Wang Lin and Yang Lu. It was also Wang Lin who had provoked her first and made a mess of her cave. If it was anyone else, they would find it difficult to accept. Senior Green Bull, there is no need to look for another peak for me. That fire vein mountain is enough. Wang Lin pointed to that wasted mountain. As for the new cave, give it to Yang Lu. Wang Lin smiled at the beautiful young woman. The young woman was startled for a moment and her expression softened a bit, but she couldn't let go of the anger in her heart. Seeing Wang Lin smile at her, she let out a cold hum and stared at Wang Lin viciously. Old ancestor Green Bull saw this and laughed. He nodded and said, "That's good too. Come to the Green Heavenly Peak to find me in 3 days." After he spoke, his right hand grasped toward the void and a jade flew at Wang Lin. This jade will allow you to enter and leave most of the restrictions in the Great Soul Sect. Wang Lin accepted the jade and no longer spoke. He flew toward the peak and went past Yang Lu's many disciples. Wang Lin suddenly stopped and glanced at Fan Shanmeng. Fan Shanmeng's heart trembled as Wang Lin's glance swept by, and she lowered her head. Her cultivation was lacking, she was only at 7 arcane tribulants, like Du Qing. She and her sister becoming the 7-colored celestial sovereign's Dao partners had nothing to do with her cultivation, but the fact that she was a disciple of the Great Soul Sect. There was an even deeper reason and a lucky occurrence behind this. Otherwise, with the 7-colored celestial sovereign's early-stage void tribulant cultivation back then, he wouldn't have taken her as a Dao partner. The 7-colored celestial sovereign had gone through many things in his life. He had many infatuations that outsiders hadn't seen. However, even after he reached the mid-stage of void tribulant, he still stayed with Fan Shanmeng. This just shows how much he cared for her. Perhaps it was precisely because of this that he was so angry when he found out that Fan Shanmeng and Lian Daofei might have had an affair. My cave lacks a servant girl. This woman is pretty good. Yang Lu, give her to me. As Wang Lin walked away, he looked at Fan Shanmeng and pointed at her. Fan Shanmeng's heart trembled when she heard Wang Lin's words, and her expression changed greatly. Don't you dare. Yang Lu had finally calmed herself, but Wang Lin's words immediately caused her to erupt with killing intent. Such an extreme contrast gave her a strange sense of beauty. Wang Lin laughed and flew into the Great Soul Sect. His point had another meaning. After Wang Lin left, Yang Lu suddenly looked at Fan Shanmeng with a strange light. It was unknown what she was thinking. Fan Shanmeng bit her lower lip after being stared at by her teacher. She was nervous and she lowered her head. She didn't dare to speak. Inside the Great Soul Sect, Wang Lin stood on top of the dark fire vein and his divine sense spread out. The mountain was trash after the fire vein withered. Even the mountain felt like it could collapse with a little push. However, none of this was a problem for Wang Lin. With a gentle stomp from his feet, his fire essence true body appeared behind him and flew into the mountain. The moment his essence true body entered the mountain, a sea of fire erupted from the mountain and connected to the sky. The entire mountain was burning. Since you lost the power of fire, I'll give you the fire. Since you lost the will of fire, then my will become the mountain. Wang Lin muttered. The sea of fire rumbled and all the restrictions in the mountain were burned away and new restrictions were formed. The color of the mountain was changed from the dim red back to bright red like the sun. It was even more intense than before. The fire on the mountain looked like it could burn forever and never extinguish. When Yang Lu saw this, she immediately clenched her teeth. The hint of satisfaction she felt about Wang Lin accepting this wasted mountain disappeared completely. The two of us can't coexist. She suppressed the sense of anger in her heart until Ancestor Green Bull arranged a new peak for her. After he left, she immediately summoned Fan Shanmeng. Fan Shanmeng, go to the Flame Vein Mountain. That person named Wang wants you to become his servant, go be his servant. Teacher. Fan Shanmeng's expression changed and she knelt down on the ground, trembling. She looked very pitiful and tears appeared in her eyes. When Yang Lu saw her expression, she let out a cold snort. That person named Wang is the person who you told me about before. The person from the cave world. HMPH, put away your charm. Your charm is useless against your teacher. Your nature is licentious and you cursed your Dao partner, the seven-colored celestial sovereign, to death. You even caused Lian Daofei to disappear into the seven Dao sect's cave. Your teacher doesn't have your ability, but if you use it well against that person named Wang and curse him to death, teacher won't treat you badly. Fan Shanmeng's body trembled. She raised her head and was about to speak. Don't say any more. You're going whether you like it or not. Go curse him to death. This is what you're good at, and with your charm, you can do it. Yang Lu waved her sleeve and a powerful gust of wind carried Fan Shanmeng out of the mountain. Outside the mountain, Fan Shanmeng silently pondered for a long time. She turned toward Wang Lin's peak and her eyes were filled with viciousness. If not for Wang Lin's words, Yang Lu wouldn't have forced her out. Curse him to death, her teacher's words still echoed in her ears. Fan Shanmeng took a deep breath and the viciousness in her eyes disappeared. Instead, a calm charm replaced it and she lightly walked toward the mountain. In the Great Soul Sect, the mountain Wang Lin was at was very unique. It was constantly burning and the fire never extinguished, but there was no smoke. The world around the mountain seemed to distort due to the heat. Everything around the mountain looked like an illusion. The mountain was very hot, and if one got close, they would be covered in sweat. If one moved even closer, they would feel like their blood was boiling. Wang Lin only maintained 3 caves in the Fire Vein Mountain and destroyed the others. As of right now, he was the only person in this mountain. He was sitting inside the cave that originally belonged to Yang Lu. His essence true body appeared and slowly fused with the mountain as if becoming one with it. Wang Lin cultivated for a moment before he opened his eyes. His eyes shined brightly. Great Soul Sect, Wang Lin flipped his right hand and a purple jade appeared. This jade gave off an ancient aura and a trace of decay. Soul Eye Dao. The person I knew who was the best at divination was the All-Seer. Qinglin also had a similar Dao spell. That spell was very good at divination. Back then, I borrowed the All-Seer's avatar to divinate, and it saved me from a lot of life and death crisis. Now, with the Soul Eye Dao, I must learn it, otherwise, it will be difficult to move in the immortal astral continent. More importantly, it will help me hide myself and make it difficult for others to divinate me, Wang Lin pondered as his divine sense entered the jade in his hand. However, just at this moment, Wang Lin suddenly looked up. The entire Fire Vein Mountain had merged with his essence true body. It could be said that this mountain was his essence true body. He clearly sensed a woman walking toward the mountain. The woman stopped outside the mountain. After pondering a bit, she bowed and her soft and charming voice echoed. Disciple Fan Shanmeng came under the order of teacher due to Elder Wang's request to meet Elder Wang. Fan Shanmeng, Wang Lin smiled and ignored her. His divine sense entered the jade in his hand and he began to study it. Soul is Dao, Dao is soul, to use Dao to search through fate. When Wang Lin's divine sense entered the jade, an old voice echoed in his mind. This voice contained a strange force and allowed Wang Lin to immerse himself in the Soul Eye Dao in the jade. Time slowly passed. In a flash, one day went by. Fan Shanmeng was still standing outside the mountain, waiting outside with her head lowered. The temperature here was very high and her clothes were soaked in sweat. Her clothes were clinging to her body, making it very uncomfortable, but she still waited for Wang Lin's summon. She was feeling helpless. Thinking about everything that had happened, there was a flash of resentment in her eyes, but she soon hid it. Inside the cave, Wang Lin opened his eyes. He looked at the jade in his hand and pondered for a while. 4.9 billion inscriptions. Every inscription must be imprinted after a certain amount of time to the soul. 100,000 as small completion, 2.7 billion as intermediate, and 4.9 billion to master. This spell is very strange. It is easy to learn, but to move further, it becomes extremely difficult. The further one goes with this spell, the more complex the inscriptions become and the longer it takes to imprint them on the soul. Is this the Great Soul Sect Soul Eye Dao? Wang Lin pondered a bit with a strange expression. According to the time given on the jade, this spell only takes 3 days to learn at the start. As long as one has reached the 3rd step, 9 out of 10 people can complete 100,000 inscriptions on their soul. But if one wanted to reach the intermediate level, it would take 999 years. And one must spend all that time in closed-door cultivation. This is also possible. It is not uncommon for a cultivator to go into closed-door cultivation for 1,000 years. Wang Lin let out a cold snort and closed his eyes. He continued to immerse himself in inscripting the imprints on his soul. At the dusk of the third day, while the sky was golden, Wang Lin opened his eyes. Surely the same as the time predicted in the jade. 3 days to inscribe 100,000 imprints on the soul. Wang Lin raised his right hand to form a seal and pointed to between his eyebrows. Soul energy came out from his head and soon formed a small person above him. This little person was only 3 inches tall and was formed by the 100,000 imprints in Wang Lin's soul. This little person did not look like Wang Lin. It only had a pair of eyes. It didn't even have a nose, a mouth, or ears. It gently jumped off his head and landed before him. Then, as Wang Lin stretched out his right hand, the little person jumped into Wang Lin's palm. Looking at this little person, Wang Lin's eyes revealed a strange light. Before him was the little person formed by 100,000 inscriptions that were constantly moving. This little person could only be seen with one's eyes. If one's divine sense swept by, there would be nothing. As Wang Lin looked at the little person, it was looking back at him. Its eyes were clear and gave off an unspeaking sense of emotion. When their gazes met, Wang Lin felt like he had entered a trance. The soul eye is all-seeing. Search for my own mysteries. Wang Lin suddenly said, and then searched for dangers in his future. The moment he spoke, the little person trembled and gave off a ghostly glow. It knelt down toward Wang Lin and kowtowed toward him. When the head of the little person touched Wang Lin's palm the first time, a strange force erupted from the little person and rushed into Wang Lin's mind through his palm. Wang Lin's vision became blurry and he vaguely saw fog. This fog was filled with blood light. He saw several hidden figures but couldn't see them clearly. At this moment, the small person kowtowed once more, and when its forehead touched Wang Lin's palm, there was a thunderous rumble in Wang Lin's mind. The fog before him seemed to be blown apart by force. He faintly saw a mountain surrounded by thunder. It was like a thunder mountain made by the heavens. He saw a person there, and that person seemed to be suppressed under the thunder mountain. Bolts of thunder landed on the mountain, and he vaguely saw a giant chariot made of thunder in the sky. There was a figure made of thunder looking down on the earth. Wang Lin's heart trembled, and without hesitation, he looked at the person who was being suppressed. However, it was a blur and he couldn't see clearly. At this moment, the little person in his hand trembled and kowtowed a third time. The moment its forehead touched Wang Lin's palm, Wang Lin's body trembled. Another surge of power appeared to break through the fog, allowing him to see the face of the person that was hidden. That person was himself. When Wang Lin saw this, the illusion before him collapsed. He felt like a cultivation planet had smashed into him, and his divine sense quickly withdrew. Who will suppress me with the Thunder Mountain in the future? Wang Lin's expression was fierce. When everything before him collapsed, he forced his divine sense to stay. He looked up at the figure on the chariot made of thunder. He was going to get a good look at the person's appearance. Soul Eye Dao, once more. He couldn't see it clearly, but how could Wang Lin give up now? When he sent out the command, the little person in his hand trembled and kowtowed for the fourth time. A giant bolt of thunder seemed to light up the whole world. This allowed Wang Lin to clearly see the figure on the chariot. When Wang Lin saw the figure, his mind trembled and his body trembled. The world before him collapsed, and when he looked up, he was still in the cave. The little person in his palm looked dispirited and its eyes were dim as it remained motionless. After pondering for a long time, Wang Lin still couldn't forget the look of the person he saw at the end. Impossible. How can it be? Wang Lin's eyes were filled with confusion. After a long time, he closed his palm. The little person in his hand entered his soul to be nourished. This matter is too strange. However, this Soul Eye Dao can indeed see the changes in the future. I'll need to cultivate this more, then perhaps I can use it to find Situ, Qing Shui, Li Qianmai, and the others, Wang Lin pondered as he suppressed the shock in his heart. Given his cultivation and life experiences, he could suppress even heaven-shattering events to calm himself. It has been 3 days. I wonder what the 3 things old ancestor Green Bull has prepared for me are. He also said I can enter the Soul Scripture Pavilion to choose spells. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he thought about the various illusion spells the Great Soul Sect had, including the one Yang Lu had used to summon the soul of the Great Soul Sect's ancestor. After pondering a bit, Wang Lin stepped forward and left the cave. He stood on the mountain and immediately saw the extremely weak Fan Shanmeng. She was still standing there. When she saw Wang Lin, she revealed a complicated expression. As she was about to speak, Wang Lin walked past Fan Shanmeng and left the Fire Vein Mountain. You? There was anger in Fan Shanmeng's eyes, but she suppressed it. She stared at Wang Lin's figure as he left. She then calmed herself and continued to wait. She had nowhere else to go. Wang Lin turned into a ray of light and went toward the depths of Great Soul Sect. The Jade Old Ancestor Green Bull had given him to allow him through the restrictions in the sect had a map of all the various peaks in the Great Soul Sect. This told him exactly where the Green Heavenly Peak was. Deep inside the Great Soul Sect, there was a mountain that pierced into the sky. This mountain was crisp green and seemed far too tall, as if it supported the world. This was a forbidden land of the Great Soul Sect. This was where old Ancestor Green Bull resided. Wang Lin flew quickly and all the restrictions before him echoed, but none stopped him. He stopped outside the Green Heavenly Peak and clasped his hands. His voice clearly echoed toward the mountain. It's Junior Wang Lin. Is Senior Green Bull here? The Green Heavenly Mountain trembled and all the restrictions around it disappeared. An ancient voice echoed from the mountain. At the top, I'll wait for you here. Wang Lin subconsciously spread out his divine sense and scanned the mountain. Although the mountain looked normal, there was a powerful aura within. This aura came from the mountain. This is a mountain formed by a treasure. Wang Lin charged through the clouds toward the mountain and soon arrived at the peak. Green Heavenly Peak. Esteemed Green Bull was sitting and his green robe was fluttering in the wind along with his white hair. Wang Lin looked calm when he arrived on the opposite side of Esteemed Green Bull and sat down. Sitting there, Wang Lin spoke slowly. The Soul Eye Dao is indeed extraordinary. After 178,000 years of cultivation, perhaps it can compete with the Celestial Imperial Teacher. I admire the depth of the Great Soul Sect. When Esteemed Green Bull heard this, he laughed. He didn't look embarrassed, he was rather calm. Yes, Elder Wang's words are correct. To enter my Great Soul Sect and immediately take pride in my Great Soul Sect is very good. In fact, this old man thinks so too. If someone can really go into closed-door cultivation for 178,000 years and cultivate the Soul Eye Dao to completion, they could really have the power to compete with the Imperial Teacher. 178,000 years of cultivating one spell where one's cultivation level won't increase at all. The body won't have enough life force, so how can such a person exist? Wang Lin's words were blunt. The 178,000 years requirement made him feel quite helpless. Either way, this old man hasn't heard of anyone in the Great Soul Sect who has mastered the Soul Eye Dao. Even the first-generation ancestor only managed to reach 4.1 billion inscriptions. However, Elder Wang's talent is amazing and you have been through a lot. Perhaps you will find a way to master my Great Soul Sect's greatest spell. Esteemed Green Bull smiled as he spoke. Bullshit. Wang Lin wasn't polite at all. He rarely spoke like this, but he found the expression of the current Esteemed Green Bull simply too evil. After Wang Lin spoke, Esteemed Green Bull was startled for a moment. He didn't expect Wang Lin to respond like this. After blinking for a moment, Esteemed Green Bull indeed felt a bit guilty and smiled mischievously. Forget it, let's not talk about this anymore. I have 3 gifts the Great Soul Sect has prepared for you. They should be of great use to you. After he said this, he waved his right hand and 3 lights appeared. There were 3 boxes, and they flew toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin waved his sleeve and put the 3 boxes away without even looking at them. Could it be that it will take 178,000 years before I can open the boxes? Old Ancestor Green Bull coughed and quickly said, "This old man does not know. These 3 gifts were prepared by the first generation ancestor and have been passed down through the generations. Now they are yours. As for what's inside them, I don't know. If anything is wrong with them, don't come to find me." Seeing Wang Lin frowning, esteemed Green Bull stood up and raised his right hand to point at the sky. A rift appeared outside the mountain like a giant spatial rift. It was another spacious inside the rift, and there was a giant, 9-story pavilion inside. This pavilion was covered in fog and seemed to looming there. A soul pressure was leaking out from the rift. Wang Lin hadn't even entered but was already feeling the pressure. This old man still has a furnace of pills to refine. You can enter the Soul Scripture Pavilion and choose a spell. The rules throughout the generations is you can choose one. If you want to go in again, you must complete tasks for the Sect. After esteemed Green Bull spoke, he quickly left and disappeared. Wang Lin stood up and ignored esteemed Green Bull leaving. He looked at the rift and pondered a bit before stepping in. The moment he entered the rift, powerful pressure shrouded him. This was a blurry space without a sky or earth. The only thing that existed was the huge, 9-story pavilion shrouded by fog. There were 2 giant, lifelike fierce beast statues outside the pavilion. The door to the pavilion was closed and it was completely silent. There was a light flickering through the fog in the 6th floor, as if someone was walking around inside. There were 3 large words above the door. Soul Scripture Pavilion. This was the holy land of the Great Soul Sect, where the spells from past generations were all stored. Although it looked calm, Wang Lin could feel the hidden traps here. There were many terrifying traps here. After pondering for a moment, Wang Lin stepped toward the 9-story pavilion. When he got close, he suddenly turned to look at the giant stone statue of the fierce beast. This fierce beast looked like a Chilean but was different. While Wang Lin looked over, the fierce beast suddenly moved. The surrounding area seemed to distort and a voice echoed in Wang Lin's mind. "Hand over the jade." Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He could see that this statue had the soul of a very powerful beast sealed within. The soul had fused with the statue and could change into many spells. Wang Lin raised his right hand and the jade esteemed Green Bull had given him appeared. Wang Lin only felt something sweep by and then saw a red flash before the jade disappeared without a trace. The mouth of the statue seemed to be chewing, and a moment later, it spat out the jade. You can enter the Soul Scripture Pavilion and chose one spell. The stone statue sent out a divine sense message before it stopped moving. The spatial distortion disappeared and it looked like a normal statue. What fast speed! Wang Lin's pupils shrank. He wasn't able to clearly see what the statue had done. After pondering for a moment, he realized that the red light was the tongue of the beast. After the stone statue stopped moving, a gap opened in the 9-story pavilion. A wave of soul fluctuations came from the pavilion, making the pressure even stronger. Wang Lin's expression didn't change as he stepped toward the door and into the gap. When he entered the first floor of the Soul Scripture Pavilion, he saw its secret. This was a room about 10,000 feet wide, and there were countless 7-inch little people floating around. Their eyes were closed and they remained motionless, but they all gave off powerful cultivation. Wang Lin's gaze swept past the thousands of little people. There were men and women, young and old, but without exception, they were all soul bodies. Each of the souls contained a type of spell. Soul Scripture Pavilion, Wang Lin muttered after he glanced at this floor and saw the stairs going to the second floor. There was a ghostly light, and if one didn't have a high enough cultivation level, they couldn't go up. It was obvious the higher one went, the more amazing the spells were. Wang Lin waved his sleeve and flew across hundreds of soul bodies to arrive at the stairs. When he stepped on the stairs, a rejection force appeared to stop him from going up. This rejection force was very strong and could stop all non-third step cultivators. However, to Wang Lin, it was insignificant. He remained calm as he gently walked up the stairs to the second floor. The second layer of the Soul Scripture Pavilion also contained thousands of soul bodies. The auras they gave off were much more powerful than the first floor, but after a glance, Wang Lin didn't find the spell he wanted. He was looking for the multi-layered illusion and the spell to summon the soul of the great soul sect ancestors. These spells are mostly for Nirvana void cultivators and can display extraordinary power. But they are of no use to me. Wang Lin pondered before he walked up the stairs to the second floor. The third floor, fourth floor, fifth floor. Wang Lin didn't stop for long on each floor until he arrived at the fifth floor. In this layer, the number of soul bodies reduced greatly to only around 500. The auras they gave off were around arcane void. This was clearly for arcane void cultivators. Although Wang Lin couldn't see how they changed or their chants, he could feel that each of them were extremely powerful. Wang Lin didn't know what would happen if one of the soul bodies here were taken outside, but he knew if it were placed in the cave world, it would cause a great calamity. However, although these spells were tempting, they were not what Wang Lin wanted. He looked at the stairs to the sixth floor. His eyes lit up and he walked there. When his foot landed, Wang Lin felt a rumble in his mind as if he was hit by someone. His body trembled and his foot landed on the step. His body remained motionless. In the sixth floor, Yang Lu was sitting there with a soul body floating above her head. Strands of soul energy were coming out of the soul body and entering her head. The moment Wang Lin's foot landed on the steps going to the sixth floor, Yang Lu suddenly opened her eyes, and they revealed a strange light. The person entering the Soul Scripture Pavilion at this time is likely that Wang Lin. That person's cultivation is strange, he can't be just at the late stage of Spirit Void. Let's see whether he can come up here, then I can judge his cultivation. This video will end here.